Hi there. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this mystical thing called Spotify popularity score. My name is Nick, and on this channel 11 out of 10, I show you things that I've done to promote my music and make it better so that hopefully you can do the same. Let's dive into the video. Alrighty, Spotify popularity score. Very simple structure today. What we're going to cover is what is Spotify's popularity score. I'm going to show you what scores can actually get you on Spotify's algorithmic playlists like Discover Weekly, Release Radar, and Spotify Radio. These are like the three holy grails of Spotify playlists, algorithmic playlists. I'll show you what you can do to actually boost your chances to get on these playlists. And right at the end, I'll show you how these scores actually affected my own music and if they actually translated into getting onto these playlists. So let's get into it. First off, for some of you, this might be a brand new concept. What is this popularity score? Well, very straightforward. It's a hidden number between 0 and 1, often communicated in a percentage on various websites. And it's basically how Spotify tracks which songs are hot right now, which are the coolest tracks that people are really listening to and engaging with, almost like a credit score for the nerds of us. And it's basically, your credit score in the eyes of Spotify's algorithm. It's based on streams in the last 28 days, save rates, skip rates, shares, and playlist ads. Okay, so obviously the better that these various metrics are, the longer people listen to your song, hopefully they listen to the whole thing, don't skip it, add it to many playlists. Essentially, the higher your popularity score is. Pretty straightforward, I think. So many people often ask, how do you actually find this score? Well, there are a few ways. Let's say the official way to find the score is actually on a website called Spotify for Developers. This is the site, developer.spotify.com. It looks like this. And on the website, you just go into documentation and you go web API and you try and find your artist name. Very complicated. Yeah, I've only done it once when I was doing a real deep dive. You don't need to do this because there are a whole lot of other websites that basically track this data and pull it for you for free, so you don't have to go and figure this all out. But it gets really technical. I don't know anything about coding or anything like that, but you can do it this way. If you want to see, you can try figure it out. There's definitely some other videos on YouTube, but that's not the scope of this video. The other way is you can use these third-party sites that, as I said, pull the info directly from the Spotify developer website. And my favorite one to use is something called Artist X-Ray. Yeah, it's actually done by another YouTuber here, Tom Dupree, who does similar videos to me. Shout out. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You can just type in your name or any artist name. So for example, Tame Impala. I could search Tame Impala. And over here, just got his popularity score. So the less I know, the better. 88%, borderline 85%. Very straightforward, nice clean website, which I really appreciate it. Some of the others are not clean at all. Very straightforward website, and it gives you these percentages over here. Cool. There are other ones like Artist Tools. You can find them, but as I said, Artist X-Ray, I just vibe with because it's nice and clean and easy to look at. So what percentage scores trigger these various algorithmic playlists? Now, it's a bit debatable. Some people were saying that, once upon a time, Discover Weekly is the ultimate algorithmic playlist. But I'd say now Spotify Radio is maybe catching up. And when I look at some of my own music, I might agree. But let's start with Spotify Radio because it seems to be the easiest one to get onto. And this is because it's not official or public knowledge. A score of about 10% is often enough for you to start appearing on Spotify Radio. Like artist radio or track radios. Basically, when you see Spotify profiles right at the bottom, you'll get like Nick van Graan Radio or Tame Impala Radio, and then your song might appear on other artists' radios. The track radio is if you just randomly choose a song but then keep Spotify playing. It's basically recommended based off the song that you're listening to. Generally around 10% they say can start appearing on radios, but again, this is not a hard science. This is just what I've seen from other people online, my own music and friends' music. Next up, we have Release Radar. This is an algorithmic playlist that you can only get on within the first 28 days of your song actually being out. And to ensure that you get on this, you need to make sure that you do your Spotify pitch at least 7 days before it comes out. Of course, your own followers will see this playlist, or you will appear on your own followers playlist. However, to make sure or to try and get on non-Spotify followers playlists, you want to get at least 2,400 streams within a week and a popularity score of about 20%. You may see this. Again, not a hard science. I've had these numbers, but I think there were lower save rates around my music, and so I didn't quite hit this Release Radar on non-followers. Not a hard science. These are just estimates, guesstimates. This is a release radar. And finally, we have Once Upon a Time, the Holy Grail of Discover Weekly. I know with my band, we were writing this. It's a new playlist that comes out every Monday, getting thousands of streams every Monday. And for some music, I noticed for one of my songs, it's starting to pick up in this way. Not as crazy as the one song that we had as a band, Sweet Red, but it is still a good playlist to push you out. And usually for this, the research I've done, data I've found, is you want a popularity score of 30 out of 100 or about 30%. But I have had songs actually land in it from about 25% even. And it's recommended you want at least 9,000 streams within the last 28 days. And obviously good save and skip metrics are very helpful. And then hopefully you can just keep, if you look at your data, you just notice your songs spiking every Monday. It's pretty cool. Very nice. One of the beautiful things of Spotify. Many things that we hate on as artists, but this Discover Weekly, just to get pushed out to new people like this, is pretty awesome. Cool. So these are some of the playlists that you can actually hit. The percentages, guesstimates really on how you can do it. Now, how do you actually boost your popularity score? I've given you 4 key ways and things you can actually do to do this. And one of them being focusing on saves and not just streams. We pay for a lot of playlisting, that kind of thing, but this is much more passive listening. People are not really there to engage with your music in the same way. They might not save it. And this, while you do get more saves, may impact your overall popularity score. And I think this may have happened in my own case where I've had technically a popularity score above the percentage, but because the saves were not high enough, I didn't quite trigger the algorithm. And you want to make sure that you keep bringing people back. So you can do this obviously through ads, email lists, just anything to encourage people to save your music. Also make sure that you're obviously reaching the right kind of listeners. You want people who generally and genuinely enjoy your genre. You don't want, your music to end up on these random playlists or sending it to random people so that they end up skipping it. Skipping is really bad for Spotify's algorithm and not something that you want to happen to your music. You want to keep that engagement very, very high. Next, consistent daily streaming is very, very important. You get these budded playlists. I've definitely seen this before where people's music goes up one day, boom, like a couple thousand streams, then back down to like 100 streams, if that, even a day. And Spotify doesn't want that. They want to see consistent listenership over time. And things like ads can definitely help you do this. Putting your music in your own playlist, which is something that I do, and then promoting that. This actually gives consistent listenership and keeps your Spotify popularity score slowly growing, which you can do for very cheaply. I do it for like €2 or €3, $2 or $3 a day. And lastly, just keep releasing music regularly. Okay, it keeps you in Spotify's algorithms. It likes consistent release. It likes that you keep bringing people, keeping people on the platform, and it wants to push you out if you keep doing this. So releasing music as often as you can. I'd say every 4 to 8 weeks is good. And yeah, stick with this. I think these are really, really good, important things to boosting your popularity score. Now, let's see if what I've said all adds up and actually take a look at some of my own music and my own popularity scores. Here we're in Artist X-Ray. I'll go to my music, Nick van Graan. All right. Overall, my popularity score as an artist is 20%. Yeah. And you can see here, I have May I Rest My Head Upon Your Shoulder at about 31%, or not about, it is 31%. And Through the Windowsill, 28%. These other ones in the teens and some under 10 tier. So let's take a look at May I Please Rest My Head Upon Your Shoulder. And I said 30% is good for Discover Weekly. And take a look here. In the last 28 days, if I look at my top playlists for this song, Discover Weekly has gotten me over 1,000 streams in the last 28 days. Spotify Radio 2 has also gotten me 817 plays in the last 28 days. And if I just take it a bit further back, 12 months, Spotify Radio, 6,614 streams. Really, that radio playlist has really pushed me out quite a lot. And Discover Weekly about 2K. So pretty solid. And if I take a look at Through the Windowsill, here we go. In the last 28 days, radio is my top playlist. A tiny bit in Spotify Discover Weekly, 48 streams. I think I was just over 30% a little while ago, but it's actually dipped back down to 28%, and maybe that's why it hasn't been pushed out. But look, in the last 12 months, almost 4,000 plays. So I think this was definitely above. But this is the song actually, which was actually under 30% and was getting pushed out on the Discover Weekly algorithm. So pretty cool. Again, not a hard science, but around these numbers, percentages gives you a good idea as to how your song could be performing. Yeah, making sure you're getting good saves, playlist ads, all very, very important metrics to consider. Well, yeah, sums up our video for today. I hope it's helped you understand popularity score a little bit more and some numbers that you can aim for. If you do want some help promoting your music, we've actually done some videos talking about how to set up your ads. Or if you want direct help, I actually do consulting or coaching where I can come in on a call and help you set up your own ads for your own music directly to a song or to a playlist, which I highly recommend. It's worked very well for me. There are videos on our channel about that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps us reach new people, and the new videos every single week. So hope to see you at the next one, but have a groovy week until then. Bye bye.